Top 100 Scary SCPs.
Item number SCP-3034. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. 3 Foundation personnel are to remain on site, with at least 1 employee monitoring radio frequencies for occurrences of SCP-3034. All personnel are to have at least C1 certifications in Russian. Radio equipment is to receive weekly diagnostic checks to ensure all devices are in working condition. Personnel are rotated off-site on a monthly basis. If at any time occurrence of SCP-3034 is detected, personnel are to immediately respond on the same frequency with a message in Russian. VSE Core show all as well. In any instance where communication is lost with the site, NTF Epsilon 10 and Little Helpers will be mobilized to investigate and secure the area. Under no circumstances is on-site radio equipment to be used for any other purpose besides transmitting the phrase VSE Core show all as well. Under no circumstances should an attempt be made to communicate with SCP-3034. See attached incident report. Under no circumstances are children permitted on site. Description: SCP-3034 is a recurring anomalous radio broadcast of unknown origin. As of this date, the transmission has only been observed within approximately 2 kilometers of provisional site 3034. All attempts to triangulate the source of SCP-3034 have failed. Since 1964, there have been over 627 occurrences of this broadcast. They occur at apparently random intervals, the shortest gap being 2 weeks and the longest 6 months. All occurrences of SCP-3034 follow the same format. A synthesized musical tone plays for approximately 10 seconds, followed by the voice of SCP-3034, estimated to be a female adolescent of Russian nationality. SCP-3034 immediately begins to count backwards from 200 in Russian update 2015/05/17. See attached incident report. If during this countdown provisional site 3034 broadcasts VSE Core show on the same frequency, SCP-3034 immediately stops counting. The same tone from the beginning of the broadcast plays again and the broadcast ends. A notable audio distortion occurs in the background of SCP-3034 as SCP-3034 speaks. Attempts to analyze this distortion are ongoing. See attached audio analysis below. Testing has shown that SCP-3034 does not respond to recorded occurrences of VSE Core show. It is for this reason that personnel must be present at provisional site 3034 at all times. Addendum 3034-1. Attachments. Recovery report. Date: February 2nd, 1964. Recovery lead: Commander Robert Malthus. Subject: SCP-3034.
We were first made aware of the site by a defecting agent of Group E. Although allegedly a Russian aligned counting station, preliminary reports indicated a high probability of anomalous activity. I assembled a team consisting of myself, 5 of my men, and Agent Browning selected for his proficiency in several Russian dialects. Once appropriate preparations were made, we set out to investigate. We found the site uninhabited. Evidence strongly suggests it was evacuated a week prior to our arrival. It contained several pieces of well-maintained radio equipment, a diesel generator found running when we arrived, numerous partially burned records, and over 20 logbooks all written in Russian. These books describe broadcasts received by the station. The oldest entry is dated to 1947. We also found 2 phrases carved into a desk. Agent Branding translated them from Russian. Do not let her finish. Tell her all is well. On the second day at approximately 0730 hours, an automated alarm sounded. We later determined this alarm is triggered by incoming broadcasts. Upon activating the radio speakers, we heard a young woman speaking in Russian. Agent Browning informed us that this woman was counting downward and have reached 76. After a short debate, it was decided that the most prudent course of action would be to follow the instructions on the desk. Dr. Browning interrupted the broadcast with the provided phrase VSE Korosha, all is well. The voice stopped, a tone played, and the broadcast ceased. I have left Agent Browning on site along with 2 of my men. They have sufficient fuel and rations to last for 3 weeks. My recommendation is for constant surveillance until the precise nature of this anomaly can be determined.
Audio log. Note: the following audio was recovered from partially burned magnetic tapes discovered on site. All dialogue is translated from Russian. Begin log.
Let's get this over with. You attempted to steal state property, Sergei. How did you think this would end?
She is not state property. She has a name.
What was your intention? To defect to the Americans? Let them know about our little project?
You know me. You know I have served with honor and distinction. You know I would never.
Did they promise you money? Asylum? And what did you imagine would happen to her? Did you think you would raise her as your own?
This is wrong. You know this is wrong. You are meddling in powers you can't possibly...
And do you think the Americans understand what powers they meddle with? Do you think they have any inkling of what this atom bomb can do?
I know that one does not make deals with atom bombs. One certainly does not sacrifice little girls to them.
A sacrifice that will save millions, if not billions.
Presuming the Americans even believe this fable exists. Presuming they think us monstrous enough to use it.
They will. We will show them. A small taste. Just as they demonstrated their power at Hiroshima, we will...
Scuffling, followed by shouting.
I trust you will control yourself, now.
You cannot do this. The nightmares. I know you have had them, just as I have. The voices, screaming in the dark. That's what it wants, Vasov. That's what it is. You cannot make a deal with this thing. We have finally contained it, and now you want to offer it.
Only if they force our hand.
You can't! For the love of God, you can't!
Date: September 12, 2012. From Dr. Shulkel, B. Shulkel at SCP Foundation, to Dr. Emerson, Remerson at SCP Foundation. Subject: Audio analysis of SCP-3034. We've been listening to this signal for just over half a century now. During the time, we've recorded every instance of SCP-3034 since its discovery except the very first one. Attached you'll find a mission report regarding details of this occurrence. That's over 600 recordings. We've explored every avenue of inquiry I can think of. We can't track the signal, and upper management, quite reasonably, doesn't want us trying to talk to it. That's why I'm contacting you. I'm hoping with in-depth vocal analysis you'll be able to tell us more about the voice on this recording. Cross-reference it with recordings of other number stations, maybe. Or give us a geographical location based on dialect and accent, an estimated age. Something to anything. Otherwise, I'm out of ideas. All I know is that someone's broadcasting recordings of a little girl counting down to 0, and we're all too scared to find out what happens if we let her finish. I'm starting to wonder if this isn't some sort of elaborate prank. Date: September 12, 2012. From Dr. Emerson, Remerson at SCP Foundation, to Dr. Shulkel, B. Shulkel at SCP Foundation. Subject: Bray. Audio analysis of SCP-3034. The broadcast sound recordings. Variations in tone, pitch, and phrasing make it clear that each instance of SCP-3034 is a new occurrence. Each countdown is vocally unique. Either someone recorded this little girl counting down over and over again hundreds of times, or she's been broadcasting these signals for over 50 years. There's more. We've analysed the audio distortion in the background. It appears to be more voices, only slowed down. Just like SCP-3034-A, these are vocally unique for each occurrence. Regrettably, the distortion is far too weak for us to make out what they're saying. However, the length of the broadcast seems to correlate with the strength of the distortion. The longer the broadcast goes on, the louder the distortion becomes. Ironically, the problem is that we're too good at containment. Foundation personnel mobilized so quickly that no transmission we've recorded has lasted longer than 30 seconds. If we had longer transmissions, we might be able to extrapolate more data. My recommendation is that you allow the signal to go on for longer than 30 seconds. Maybe then we'll be able to determine precisely what it is. Date: September 16, 2012. From Dr. Shulkel, B. Shulkel at SCP Foundation, to Dr. Emerson, Remerson at SCP Foundation. Subject: Audio analysis of SCP-3034. Recommendation approved. Foundation personnel have been instructed to allow the next 5 iterations of SCP-3034 to continue until it reaches 50. Hopefully, this will provide enough useful data for us to analyse the distortion and figure out what the hell is going on. I'll send you the files once we have them. Date: January 19, 2013. Phone: Dr. Emerson Remerson at SCP Foundation. To Dr. Shulkel B. Shulkel at SCP Foundation. Subject: SCP-3034. I finished analysing 3 of the 5 files you sent. It's just screaming. Thousands upon thousands of children screaming. My previous recommendation is withdrawn. Inform your personnel to respond to any occurrence of SCP-3034 with the kill signal immediately. Date: January 19, 2013. From Dr. Shulkel B. Shulkel at SCP Foundation. To Dr. Emerson Remerson at SCP Foundation. Subject: Way. Audio analysis of SCP-3034. Agreed. Incident report. Incident number 3034-201. Date of occurrence: May 17, 2015. A Foundation researcher assigned to SCP-3034 Dr. Uriel Willis misappropriated radio equipment to conduct an unofficial experiment. During an occurrence of SCP-3034, she attempted to establish communication with SCP-3034-A. SCP-3034 ceased counting. Approximately 5 seconds later, an extremely powerful broadcast was detected. This signal consisted of a high-pitched screech which inflicted significant levels of pain, dizziness, and disorientation to all personnel present. The signal continued for a period of 25 seconds, at which point Dr. Willis used Provisional Site 3034's radio equipment to transmit the appropriate phrase via SCARY. The broadcast immediately ceased. Within the next 24 hours, researchers noted a significant increase in missing children cases across the world. In the majority of these cases, the disappearances occurred at a time roughly correlating with the 25-second broadcast. All cases believed to be associated with SCP-3034 have remained unsolved. Disciplinary action against Dr. Willis is still under review. Special containment procedures have been updated to reflect the importance of not interacting with SCP-3034 outside of stated parameters. All tests regarding SCP-3034 are suspended until further notice. Incident report. Incident number 3034-202. Date of occurrence: June 4, 2015. An occurrence of SCP-3034 was detected. Personnel present responded with the appropriate transmission, leading to a cessation of SCP-3034. However, 2 distinct changes were noted. SCP-3034's audio distortion was significantly louder. SCP-3034 began at 199. How far away is the date when we start utilising this for the better of mankind? Besides the population impulsion we inevitably face, but more importantly, to cleanse the world of all these ungrateful little brats are running around. Maybe it's better that I'm not in charge of anything important. Comment regrets below if you made it this far. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Stay tuned. Bye.